What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Kid Galahad versus Kiko Martinez, and this is going to be a 12-rounder for the IBF Featherweight World Championship. And this fight is going to be Saturday, November 13th, from the Sheffield Arena in Sheffield, Yorkshire, England. And this fight is going to be broadcasted on DAZN and scanned both fighters' resumes. Kid Galahad, fighting out of the United Kingdom by way of Qatar, holds a record of 28 wins, 1 defeat with 17 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked number 2 by BoxRec in the featherweight division. He's also the current IBF Featherweight World Champion. And now to list his one and only defeat, it came by unanimous decision to Josh Warrington. And some of his best victories include a knockout victory over James Dickens in 2013, and in the rematch he won via knockout as well in 2021. And that's where Kid Galahad actually won the IBF title that he is holding right now, and it was vacant at the time. And now to list some of his other victories, he also was a knockout victory over Claudio Marrero and a unanimous decision victory over Toka Khan Clary. And now to get into his opponent's resume, Kiko Martinez, fighting out of Spain, holds a record of 42 wins, 10 defeats with 2 draws, and 29 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked number 27 by BoxRec in the featherweight division. Kiko Martinez is also the former IBF super-bantamweight world champion, and he's a two-weight world title challenger. And now to list all 10 of his defeats, he has a majority and a unanimous decision loss to Rendell Monroe, a unanimous decision defeat to Takalani Ndolovu, sorry if I pronounced his name incorrectly. He also has a knockout and unanimous decision defeat to Carl Frampton, a knockout loss to Scott Quigg, a knockout loss to Leo Santa Cruz, a majority decision defeat to Josh Warrington, a knockout loss to Gary Russell Jr., and a unanimous decision defeat to Zelva Barrett, which is very controversial, and I actually thought that Martinez won that fight. And now to list his 2 draws, he has a split decision draw to Eusebio Osejo, and he has a technical decision draw against Mark Vidal. And now to list some of his best victories, he has a knockout win over Jonathan Romero, a knockout win over Jeffrey Mathebula, and a knockout victory over Hozumi Asegawa. And in my opinion, this fight is going to go in favor of the younger, the stronger, and the faster defending champion, the Kid Galahad. I mean, Galahad has so many advantages in this fight: the height, the reach, the power, the speed, all that I mentioned before. I mean, he's just overall the better fighter at this point. I mean, maybe if it was Martinez a couple years ago, it could have been a somewhat decent fight on paper, but now, I mean, Martinez, he's just getting too old. I mean, he's smaller. And Galahad's just overall just a more skillful guy, and I think it's going to be a pretty dominant performance in favor of Galahad, and I think it's going to be ending in a stoppage win for Galahad as well. Galahad, this will be the first time he's defending his belt. I know that many people, myself included, were hoping that he'd be able to fight someone like a Lee Wood, the winner of Laura Warrington 2, although sadly that ended in a technical draw. Yeah, I really hope that he could have got a big fight, but I mean, now he's fighting Kiko Martinez. I know that's not the fight that we all hope for, but it will be a good showing of Kid Galahad's skill. And I mean, on paper, it is actually a decent win. I mean, I'm saying that he'll most likely get the victory, but yeah, Martinez, former champion, former world title challenger, and I mean, really, many of Martinez's losses have come to really good opposition. I mean, Frampton, Santa Cruz, Quigg, Warrington. I mean, Gary Russell Jr., I mean, there's just so many good names on his resume. But, I mean, his real only decent big wins, as I listed before, were in his title reign at super bantamweight against, like, Romero, Mathebula, and Hasegawa. But otherwise, he hasn't really got any big wins. But I think that Zelfa Barrett win could have added so much to his resume. But since they robbed him, in my opinion, I mean, obviously it goes in as a loss. But, yeah, that was a very good showing of Martinez's skill, because I actually thought Martinez was going to lose that fight, but pretty clear, but he didn't, and yeah, he put in a good performance, and I hope that in this fight, Martinez will just try his hardest, because I can't really see him winning if he's not going to go 110%, so hopefully Martinez will just come forward, try and rough up Galahad, and put up a good fight, because I hope this fight is somewhat competitive. I mean, I know it probably won't be, but I just want to see a good fight out of this, but, I mean, Galahad's just so much better at this point than Kiko Martinez, that it's going to be a dominant showing of Kid Galahad's skill, his power, his speed, his accuracy, and whatnot. But for Kiko Martinez, I mean, he's a very, very tough guy. He's only been stopped maybe like 4 times out of his 10 losses. I mean, all those times he got stopped were against like real good opposition: Frampton, Quigg, Santa Cruz, and Gary Russell Jr., I believe so. Those were the only guys he's been stopped to. But that Gary Russell Jr. stoppage came to a cut. Yeah, and I mean, the Carl Frampton stoppage was legit against Scott Quigg as well, and Santa Cruz. But yeah, he's a very, very tough fighter. Martinez is. He's taken so many shots from top guys, and he does show that he has a good chin. Although he's been stopped almost 50% of the time, as I mentioned before, with 4 out of the 10 losses he has. But still, he could take a punch. I mean, we've seen him against some of the best guys as listed before, taking some of their best shots. But here, I just think that he's a bit too old, a bit too small, and I think that Kid Galahad will get to Kiko Martinez mid to late probably. And I don't think that Martinez will get stopped, like just brutally knocked out, not getting up from like a 10 count. But I think that he'll get stopped standing, most likely. Like Kid Galahad will land a big shot, and then Martinez backs up, gets hit continuously on the ropes, and referee waves it off, or something like that. Or another way this fight could end is probably by like corner stoppage after just a domination, a pure masterclass from Kid Galahad of shots. Just a brutal beatdown for Kid Galahad in favor of him, and Martinez will just not have enough in the tank. He'll be too damaged, and his corner will stop the fight. That could happen, but I think it's more likely that Galahad will stop Martinez standing. Martinez definitely could get dropped earlier in this fight, but I just think the outcome will be a standing stoppage, most likely, if not a corner stoppage in favor of Kid Galahad mid to late, and I think specifically it will be from rounds 6 to round 10. So overall, I believe that Kid Galahad will defeat Kiko Martinez by knockout to successfully defend his IBF Featherweight World title for the first time, and once again the stoppage will happen from round 6 to round 10. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.